Hi guys, so my name is Jalicia. Welcome to my channel. So just as a quick intro, this channel is mainly going to be about fashion, beauty, appearance, but mostly fashion. So I do live in New York and I did go to a fashion college. I went to the Fashion Institute of Technology, or you can say FIT, and I did earn a bachelor's degree there in international trade and marketing. So I feel like I am very well prepped to make this video for you guys. So I will basically just be talking about some tips, how to get into FIT, how I got into FIT, and this will also be into 3 parts. So this is gonna be the first video out of a 3-part video. First one is going to be how I got in, second one is going to be my experience, and then the third video is going to be post-graduation and if I think that everything was basically all worth it. So, and also I do work in the fashion industry as well. So let's get to the tips and let's get started. The first tip I would say is knowing what you want and being passionate about it. I know it's very like it's like cliche, like yeah you need to know what you want, but you really do, because students who are applying to go into FIT, they know exactly what they want. I mean, it's a fashion college, so they're basically committing their careers or their work life to fashion. You know, it's what they love, you know, it's what they eat and breathe, and it's what they want to do. So you also really have to know what you're passionate about and try to kind of glue it together with any programs that you may see. So for example, at first I was a bio major and I had a minor in international studies. So bio, it's something that is hard enough, and if you are not interested in it and if you are not passionate about it, then you will get bored. So then as soon as I found out that bio is not going to work for me, I was like, okay, what are 2 things that I love? And I'm like, I love travel and I love fashion. So then I was like, okay, international business and fashion. And so at this time I was in Florida, but I used to live in New York. I moved back and forth in between New York and Florida so many times, and I can't even count, but that's just for a whole nother video. And so basically FIT popped up, and international trade and marketing was the option that came up, and that was for bachelor's, and that was perfect because that was when I was in my AAs when I switched. So I was like, oh my god, perfect. I'm like, okay, let's do it, let's do it, let's get it on, because I'm like, I love fashion, I love international business. So when it came down to writing my essay and making the necessary moves, like a couple months after I actually chose to drive from Florida back into New York just to, you know, apply and all that stuff. But basically that was passion. Like I was very passionate about international business and just international studies in one. So that right there, once you're very passionate about something, you gotta make it happen by any means necessary. So passion and knowing what you want and being honest with yourself, I think, is the first most important thing. The second thing is going to be extracurricular activities. So, I mean, I'm not saying that this is what you have to do, but I'm saying that this is what I did, because like I said, at this time I was in my associates and I knew that I wanted to transfer and go into a university, which was University of Florida. So I knew that I was gonna have to have a very strong curricular resume. So I was in Model United Nations, again, because I loved studying other countries. I loved international studies. So I did do Model United Nations. I thought that that was like very fun. And then also in that club, you also met so many people who enjoyed the same things as you. That you know, really helped. And then also, I was a bio major. I went to Puerto Rico for study abroad. So that was huge, because also after we studied abroad, we had to enroll ourselves into a science fair. So I also had that. United Nations. I also did some community service work. I studied abroad, and I participated in a science fair. So I was and I was also senator of my club for United Nations. So I was very hands-on, because I'm like, I know I'm competing against a lot of people who also wants to get into UF or get into that school or that school. I just looked at everything as a competition. You have to do things that are going to make you stand out. So it doesn't have to be Model UN. It could just be some kind of club. It could just be something. Just show that you didn't just go to, you know, school, go to class, and then come home. You have to show that you are doing a little bit more, you know, because listen, at, you know, FIT, I feel like you are around a lot of very talented people, and people who, you know, actually wants to be there, you know. So you really have to show that you can push yourself. So extracurricular activities. What is my third thing? The third thing is gonna be the GPA. So coming out of a college, just from my experience, I would recommend that maybe you have a 2.8 and up. The fourth one, I think this is as important as some other points, but it's just applying early. Honey, if that deadline is November 20th, and you send that damn paper in November 16th or 17th, girl, bye. You want to be on top of it. I mean, if you're applying to a school, you know, and they gave you a deadline, you know what I mean? It's like, as a student, you don't need to be turning in anything that's right at the deadline. They're definitely gonna put the people who applied first as a priority. I mean, I applied super early. I mean, as soon as it was open, I think I maybe applied maybe like 2 weeks or a week after they opened it up, and I got my acceptance letter also very early, because I applied early. But it's like, they see that you are enthusiastic about the school. They see how bad you want it. You have to want to get into that school bad, okay? And by you sending in all of your stuff, so your essay and your application, it shows how bad you want it. If you wait until the last minute, they're gonna be like, oh, we must have been a last minute, you know, thought of something, because this is like all the way late. I mean, hey, it's still, you still made a deadline, but trust me, it looks really good when you get in that paper early. So, and I mean, I would say the essay and applying early are probably the most important things. A solid essay, listen, if you messed up during your associates, or you messed up during you know, a certain time, and your GPA isn't that well, you better write it in. You better pour out your heart in that essay. And then also, that's where the whole passion thing comes in, because when you're very passionate about something, you writing that essay, I'm sure that they are gonna feel it. You know what I mean? And you talk about all of your experiences. You talk about that. You talk about your hustle. You talk about your mindset. If you feel like you know, like struggle and you have like all this passion and you get into it, you gotta write all your feelings. You gotta damn near cry while you writing that essay. They have to feel you. They have to feel that hunger, and they have to feel you. I mean, listen, I may sound like I'm being dramatic, but when it comes on to FIT, everyone who is there are very happy to be there. And you are gonna see that when you're in class. I mean, everyone is tuned in. Everyone is just like thankful to be there. Yes, that essay needs to be solid. You need to write out all your experiences. You need to write out how your experiences, you know, how it has made you a great student, and connect all of that into one. Everything that I'm telling you, I definitely did it. Yeah, I got in. And with those points, I mean, if you don't take anything from this video, you should take a solid essay explaining why you're so passionate, explaining all of your experiences, just kind of explaining your life and why. Like, I moved a ton of times, okay? So I also tied that into my essay because, you know, in international trade and marketing, or like in international business, or when you're in those fields, you know, if you become a manager, you're gonna be traveling a lot. And, you know, just try to tie in your life to why you're choosing that major and why you want to become a part of that school and that family. So yeah, so those are my tips. This is part 1 to a 3-part series, and if you have not already, subscribe. I will be, you know, putting out great content as much as I can. And if you guys have any questions about these specific tips, comment below and I'll definitely, you know, help you guys out. But stay tuned for the other 2 parts. Okay guys, bye, stay healthy.